Hey dolls, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm installing some micro loops I-tip extensions for the first time. So Ywigs sent me 3 bundles of their kinky straight 18 inches. And let me tell you, if you are a natural sister, like, you have to get this texture because I feel like it will blend with so many textures once it's blowed out. Okay, so for my client here, my sister, she is not completely natural. She does perm her hair, but she doesn't do it like where it's super duper straight. So this does blend pretty well with her hair, even though she is not natural anymore. Okay, so what I love about this extension, or this, if you've ever seen microlinks installed, guys, it's a tedious process. So Ywigs made it so much easier to install these I-tips because they give you the tool that you need to make it easier. So you see those white loops? That is, oh my god, this is genius. Okay, but before we get to that, let's get into the leave out. So here I'm going to be telling you guys what I did right and what I did wrong. So first of all, what I'm doing wrong here is I should have left out way more hair. When you're doing sew-ins, like, this is good enough for a sew-in, but for I-tips, you see how you have those little short hairs at the back? Like, I should have left out a little bit more to where she had longer length so that it would cover the entire head. Nonetheless, the install came out very well. However, I'm going to be telling you guys what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So now the leave out that I'm doing around the ears, that is pretty good. That's a good, decent leave out. So you guys can take notes from that part, and as well as the front. Maybe I should have pushed back a little bit further, but I wanted to, this is my first time, y'all. I'm learning like y'all. I had to sit down and watch some YouTube videos myself so that I can learn. So sometimes the teacher is the student, you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, so I'm going around, you know, I'm braiding the leave out, and I have to also pay attention to the little short hairs that she have at the front. Like, you have to go flip it back, go through, part it. That's what I'm doing. I'm taking out her edges now so I can see, okay, is that going to be enough hair to cover it? You know what I'm saying? But for this type of extension, you really can leave out a lot more than I did. So if you're gonna be following this video, one of my recommendations is to leave out a little bit more hair than I did so that it covers a little bit better. However, I am very proud of my first installation, so please watch till the end, because like I said, I'm teaching, I'm learning. But yeah, just listen to what I'm saying, okay? I'm going to tell you the pros and the cons. Okay, so I got the leave out the way. So now I'm doing she's just gonna get a center part, nothing fancy. She's very simple. She just want a ponytail, or if she has it out, she wants a center part. So I went ahead and did that. See that little leave out that I did? It gets bigger at the end because that was not enough. So while I was doing it, I had to leave out a little bit more than that. So like I said, when you're doing I-tip extensions, I will highly recommend leaving out a lot more, especially if they have some length to their own hair, and it will cover. And like I said, it's the kinky straight 18 inches, so it's not a big length different from her own hair. So really, it's not gonna look bad if I had left out a little bit more around the perimeter. All right, so let's get to the installation, guys. So for this installation, you want to go in a smiling direction, and you want to kind of make the parts really small, because if you have too much hair going through that loop, it will not fit, and which you guys are going to see soon. For some of them, it just wouldn't fit. So always part in a smile. So from ear to ear, you want to go like what do you call that? Ooh, concave type smile. Okay, you guys get it. It curves. Okay, so for the first one, this is what I'm talking about, guys. So I've watched I-tip extensions, and they have to put all the little tips or on some string or something, and I'm sure it takes a long, because this install took me about 4.5 hours. So I'm sure when they're doing it, the original way, it takes them way longer, but Ywigs made it super easy. So they already come with the loops. All I have to do is stick the hair through that loop and pull it through and clamp it, and that's it. So if you've never seen how they do it originally, you can go ahead and look at that, but it's so much more tedious. You have to do a lot more work, and this just makes it so much easier. So one of my advice for eye tips, what I've learned from watching my other YouTube videos, is to never put it too close to the scalp, because it will hurt your client when they try to pull it up. You see how I just flipped it up like that? Okay, so if it was too close to her scalp, then I wouldn't be able to move it that easy, and it would hurt her, because remember, you're clamping it onto her natural hair. So any little strand that is clamped on too tight or it's too close to the scalp is going to hurt. Okay, so please, once you put it on there, you want to scoot it back some, and don't feel bad if you feel like it's hanging off too much. Trust me. I mean, don't put it all the way down now. You just need it a little bit away from the scalp so that when you flip it, it doesn't hurt your client. So I'm not telling you to put it all the way to the end of their hair. You're still trying to cover it. However, just go ahead and put it on there, push it down some, and like, just use some reasoning with it when you're doing it, okay? So every now and then I'm gonna pause and let you guys watch, you know, and then I'll come in at any teaching moment to show you guys what I am doing, to educate you guys on what I learned, the pros and the cons of this install. Like I said before, it took me 4.5 hours. I really thought it would have been faster, but again, this is my first time. Secondly, I can't even imagine if I was to do it the original way, because this way, the way they looped it, provided the hair with those little loop helps so much, right? So for this, guys, when I say don't put too much hair in it, that's what I meant. The thing just broke off, so because I'm trying to stuff too much hair into that loop, and what I should have did was just took it out. But me, I don't give up, so I'm gonna get that hair through the loop. And you also always want to ask your client, like, does it hurt? Does it hurt? So I didn't let the string get loose on me, because I still needed a string to pull the hair through. But always ask your client, like, is it hurting? So if it is hurting, you want to pull out, you want to quit and start over, because you do not want to put your client through pain when doing these. So I'm tugging on them a little bit to see, like, okay, are they too loose? Are they gonna come down? They are not too loose. And I'm using professional pliers for this type of extension. I heard there's a different type of pliers to use. However, these pliers work just the same. So I did get the pliers from the hair store, not from like Lowe's or Home Depot, but I got it from the hair store. It is for eye-tip extension. So go ahead and get the proper tools that you need for this install. So as I'm going, I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over, and each line that I get, I continue to make that curving, smiling part, and I try to make it as thin as possible, and I try not to put too much hair into the loop so that it will like go through the loop. Also, you don't want to have too little hair in the loop, because then it's just gonna slide off. So there's this perfect amount that you need to get. So once you get started on doing this, guys, like, you'll see, you'll feel it. Just use great judgment on how to install these. There are some lessons I learned further in the video, so I do recommend you continue to watch if you want to know like the pros and cons of this install, because there are some bumps in the road that I come across that I'm going to correct and let you guys know what I did to correct it. So here I am attempting to make it a faster process by just putting the loops through and then going back later and clamping them on. So this is what I'm doing, and I did end up doing it a few times throughout this install because I do feel like it was faster, but you just have to make sure you have enough hair in the loop so that while you leave it behind without clamping it, it doesn't just fall off. So for the first one that I did in this line of row, you're gonna see that it just fell off there. Like I didn't even notice it until I saw it on the ground. Until I went back to clamp it on, I saw that it was missing. So I just throughout the install, like it just fell. So I just ended up putting one more on there. So like I said, you can do that. It does make it a little bit faster, but just make sure you have enough hair in that loop so that while you're going through the process, they're not like falling off. Okay guys, so here I'm going to show you guys how to unclamp it. So this one loosened some because like I said, not enough hair in it. However, I can't take hair from anywhere else because like that was the final, that was in between everything I've already continued on. So it started to slide off because I didn't clamp it down further enough. So the pliers that I have does come to where I can place it into the pliers and unloosen it, and then I pushed it back up and clamped it on a little bit harder. So this is an example of not having enough hair in the loop and it's sliding down throughout the process. So you just want to make sure when you do that, that you go back in and you make sure you clamp it on as tight as you can. So the pliers does help with taking it apart and putting it back on. So for here, the lesson that I learned throughout this process was that it's tedious when the hair is natural, and that's why I see most stylists, they do flat iron the hair before doing eye tips. So I did go in midway through and I kind of straightened her roots some because this made it so much easier for the hair to fit in the loop, as well as a smoother process when I'm like pushing it up towards her scalp. They're not like bungling up because, you know, her natural hair is curly, so they were doing too much. So when I straightened it, I got so much better results than when I just had her natural roots out. So I do recommend straightening the hair prior to, especially if you know you're going to straighten the extensions themselves, which I ended up doing at the end. So I went in and I kind of took my hot comb and I just sprayed some heat protectant on her hair, and I went in and I straightened her roots for her, and now they're going through so much smoother. I can fit a lot more hair through that loop because now it's straighter and I guess feels less dense when it's straight. So that helped tremendously. So there's one lesson that you guys can take, and this, guys, is just one bundle. Like I'm so, like, they sent me 3 bundles. They told me usually you only need 2 bundles, and I'm already like more than halfway through, and that is one bundle that I used. So I had 2 bundles left. So at the end of this install, I ended up using almost a full 2 bundles. So I did not use 3. So if you guys decide to order this to use it, I highly recommend just buying 2 bundles, because especially if you have nice thick hair yourself, or the client that you're doing it on has nice thick hair, I do just recommend just getting 2 bundles. You don't have to stretch it to 3 bundles. So because it was really full, it was really thick, and once I completed a style, I unraveled her perimeter, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I did not I did make the middle part section a little bit bigger. So it was enough hair out to cover, but I would have left a little bit more out because sometimes it shows the eye tips a little bit. Like she can definitely get away with it. However, I just wish I did leave out a little bit more. And the way to correct that is just taking out a row. Like honestly, like we couldn't be bothered to take it out because I know she's not going to wear this for a long time. However, like if you feel like you didn't leave out enough, just take out a row. Like it's super easy to take out. Just unclamp it, pull it out, and take it out. So now I'm straightening the hair, and like I said, this extension is from Ywigs extensions, so it straightens very well. Like if she had natural hair and she just wanted to throw it up without straightening it, that would have looked awesome too, because it gives a nice blowout effect for this kinky straight hair. However, when I did flat iron it, it looks really good, and then when I did curl it, it kept the curls really well. So I did really love this, and I always be jealous of my clients because I wish somebody would do my hair. Like I really like this extension, and you know, I've always wanted eye tips, and you know, I gotta be the one to do it because I either can't find people, or like I don't know, I just don't be having time for my own hair, so I just make other people look pretty. Let's just say that, okay? So when I'm trying to flip it up, I did, you know, does look good, but I didn't end up putting it in a ponytail like everybody be doing and showing out and all that stuff. So here is the final results, guys. My sister looks absolutely gorgeous. Hair looks absolutely beautiful. Like she definitely loved this. She was surprised. You know, it looks so good. It matches so well with her natural hair. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you love the results. Please give me your tips about this install. Thank you.